Greetings, beloved beings, fellow travelers on this planet, and guests from other realms. My name is Izobel Freeman, and I'm going to be doing a general reading for the collective for the week of August 20th through the 26th, 2017. Well, friends, this is it. The week of the Great American Total Solar Eclipse at 28 to 29 degrees Leo. This energy has been building up for months, even years, so the amount of psychic focus on the event is going to be huge. Before I get started with this week's tarot reading, as I've said in previous readings, I'm doing my best to give you all a basic astrological forecast in addition to reading cards, because we often get messages regarding the week's energetic climate, and the cards themselves also have so many astrological correspondences. I want you all to have context for these, so here we go. I hope that many of you had a chance last Wednesday to take a moment to listen for any internal guidance or inspiration from Spirit regarding your life's purpose, because tomorrow's total solar eclipse is really going to kick your personal and spiritual growth into high gear. It's time to choose, dear ones, what kind of world you want to live in and who you want to be in that world. Those of us who live in the United States are going to have a particularly dramatic series of days, weeks, and months ahead. There's a lot of crazy in the news, and it's more important than ever to choose love over fear, because your divine power to create your own life experience is deeply informed by your emotional state. Staying positive, heart-centered, and focused on love for self and others will ensure that whatever shakes out in the wake of the eclipse will somehow turn out for your highest good. More than anything, I want you all to know this is an exciting time to be on planet Earth. We get to be the ones, friends, who make the wishes, cast the spells, and set the intentions for our world, our human family, and for ourselves. There is no greater time than now to be alive, and no more appropriate time to be holding a clear and loving vision of the future, so we can manifest the best of all possible realities, even if that means that some of the things we've relied on in the past need to change, or fall by the wayside. But don't worry, the eclipse isn't the only thing going on in the sky tomorrow. This life-changing Sun-Moon conjunction is being anchored by Saturn, the planet of rules, structure, discipline, and wisdom, and also by Uranus, the planet of radical change and self-expression. Together, these three titans are forming a gorgeous fire trine, an equilateral triangle with each of its 3 points in the fire signs of Leo, Aries, and Sagittarius. This means that this eclipse, with all its explosive energy, is being supported by not only the conservative and practical planet, but also by the planet of revolutionary transformation. If Uranus and Saturn are cooperating, this should give us extra reassurance that the events triggered by this eclipse are going to serve the greatest good, no matter how hard the universe decides to shake our snow globe. When all the dust settles, we'll be able to look back and recognize why we needed such a big shakeup, and hopefully we'll appreciate the good things that came as a result. The effects of this solar eclipse are going to be felt for at least 6 months, and could resonate for as long as 3 more years. As different planets pass over that 28 degrees Leo position in the future, more information may be revealed, or different resonances might be felt depending on what planet it is and what areas of life it influences. For example, I mentioned in the August 6th reading that Mercury, the planet of communication, technology, and mental clarity, will end its retrograde period on September 5th at 28 degrees Leo, which means we might get some news or some other type of reflection of the eclipse energy at that time. On Tuesday the 22nd, while many eclipse travelers are making their way home after viewing the event, the Sun will leave the fiery sign of Leo and enter the responsible and detail-oriented sign of Virgo. This will help give us some much-needed structure and order after the chaotic energy of the solar eclipse. We're going to need the gentle, methodical, and objective influence of Virgo in order to analyze and fully understand what's going on in the coming weeks. On the same day, motivated and aggressive Mars forms a trine with Saturn, lending us some resolute, focused power so we can really get down to business when it comes to manifesting our desires in practical and powerful ways. Rest up on Wednesday, everyone, because on Thursday the 24th, Venus squares Uranus, meaning our relationships might get zapped with the need for change. For some of us, this might mean finally putting all our cards on the table regarding what we really want and need, which might translate to some hard conversations. Stronger relationships will be able to weather this storm and come out even better, while less stable relationships may crack under the stress. Feeling the need to move on to greener pastures? That's Uranus flipping the table on your feelings. Before you start packing your bags or propose to that person you just met online, I'd seriously think about waiting till Friday, because on Friday the 25th, Saturn not only starts to turn direct, he's been in retrograde since April 6th, but sweet Lady Venus, the planet of love and wealth, enters the exuberant sign of Leo, This, combined with the moon conjunct Jupiter that day, makes for a wonderful and positive mix of energies. Saturn will lend structure, and Venus will not only encourage you to love yourself, but also to create something beautiful. While the moon lining up with Jupiter means your intuition and sensitivity will be expanded. This looks like a much better day to take action on your feelings. On Saturday, the 26th, we end this crazy week with a conjunction between the Sun and Mercury retrograde in Mercury's home sign of Virgo. This is a great day for meditation, introspection, goal setting, and perhaps journaling about our life's purpose and how we can best use the power of this week's total solar eclipse to propel us forward into living the life we've always dreamed of. I know we can do it. We're absolutely capable of harnessing this once-in-a-lifetime confluence of amazing energies and transforming them into a future where we can all be our best selves and choose love over fear. I'm really looking forward to making sense of it all in the coming months and years. Okay, that was a lot. It's a big week, obviously, so let's get to the cards. As I have in previous readings, I'm going to start by lighting my little candle for my beautiful spirit kitty Pinky, who was in physical with me until 2015 and was and still is my greatest spiritual teacher. If you've been following my readings up until now, you know that I like to begin by seeing what card is on the bottom of this beautiful angel tarot deck and seeing what we have for our overall energy. The Eight of Fire. Events moving at a fast pace. Delays are over. Many things happening at once. Well, if this doesn't sum up the energy of the total solar eclipse, I don't know what does. This just feels like a drastic rocket underneath all of our goals, all of our ideas of self-actualization and radical change and reinvention. This is a hugely alchemical card. Fire cards in general are all about passion and transformation. So this is a giant transformation we're all going through. And this 8 is not only a really powerful number of good fortune on all counts, but also refers to our eternal nature. If you turn an 8 on its side, you get that infinity symbol. And so that points to the eternal part of all of us, higher mind, God, goddess, source, whatever you want to call it, the thing that's at the heart of the reason that we're all here playing this game. This is really amazing. It's also the month of 8, the month of Leo. So yeah, we're facing a really, really powerful week. This is great energy to begin with, and I can't wait to see the rest of the reading. So, as those of you who have been following me up until now know, I like to start by shuffling in that very intuitive, very loose style in preparation for what I call my quick cross spread. quick cross spread. And this style of shuffling allows cards to just sort of work their way out and show themselves to us. You see how this one sort of wants to come out. And as I lay these down, I'm going to be explaining the quick cross spread to you all. The quick cross is a spread that I came up with intuitively on my own for myself, my own uses, but I'm sharing it here with you all. First position in this spread is for where the collective has been in the recent past or where we are at present. This is the present into near future card. And as we progress, I'm moving horizontally at first, and now I'm going to lay down a vertical for the mind, higher mind, heart, and body subconscious wisdom of the collective. There's a mind card. Very, very exciting energy this week. Really transformative. I'm super stoked. Those of you who are also, like myself, traveling to see the totality of the eclipse. Hope you all travel safe, stay heart-centered, get ready to make the biggest most awesome wish for the greatest good of all, because you're going to be in good company. Many, many light workers, many of those of us who are focused on manifesting the best of all possible futures for the collective are going to be doing great work tomorrow. All right, we got mind, heart, body, subconscious wisdom. This card is for what can help us on our journey. Whether that be mental, emotional, physical, or spiritual aid. Or sometimes the guides just want us to know that we should be aware of an issue. I know that happened last week. They just wanted us to know that, hey, the mind was feeling a little overwhelmed and we should just be aware of that and do our best to stay heart-centered. This last card is what some people like to call the outcome. Those of you who have been following me know that I like to call it the most probable direction we're all going to be headed, due to the fact that we are all creating our own future from moment to moment, so no one can predict the future. We're all making it as we go along, and it's always up to us. All right, let's see what we've got for present into near future. Or nope, recent past into present. Getting ahead of myself. Here we go. Oh my goodness. The sun for the solar eclipse. Archangel Uriel. Happy outcomes, brilliant new ideas that lead to success. Have confidence in yourself. Yeah, can't think of a better card to start out with. 19 in the major arcana reduces numerologically you can add it up to a 10, which reduces to a 1. This is the number of a new beginning. We've ended the cycle. Like I think we had the Night of Fire last week, and we ended a cycle, and we are coming forward now into a brand new beginning with all possibilities available to us. This is really that Leo, very sun, solar energy. And you can see these beautiful stars behind and all of these butterflies, which, to me always symbolize our non-physical friends in spirit. Those of you who have had someone pass on may have seen an increase in butterflies in your life. Butterflies are a very frequent way that our non-physical friends communicate with us from spirit and let us know that they are with us, that they're on our side, and that they care about our process here. These stars are also in the sky here. This one's particularly prominent. This speaks to me about something that a lot of people don't know about the total solar eclipse, is that it's super, super special already, but it's even more special because it is practically conjunct the brightest star in Leo, called Regulus. This is the heart of the lion star, and this star is associated with kingship. It is associated with rulers, with royalty, with the highest form of self-manifestation you can achieve here in the earthly plane. And it tends to signal tremendous rises in fortune, but also the importance of staying heart-based, making sure that you are working out of a true and sincere desire for the greatest good, especially if you're in a position of power. Rulers in the past, you'll see lots of anecdotal myths attributed to the fact that a ruler must be a good ruler, a ruler must work out of the heart for the greatest good of the people, because Regulus is a star of extremes. It can grant you great power, but it can also signal some really bad challenges for rulers who don't stay in that heart-based position. So those of you who are on your own ascendant, who are coming into your own in lots of ways, this is a really wonderful card to begin with because your fortunes are favored, especially during this eclipse week. Anything that you can do to fully manifest yourself in your most bright and brilliant form, and remember to stay heart-based. Remember to manifest that in a way that serves the greatest good of all. And that means Regulus will be on your side, the sun will be on your side, all of non-physical, and you'll just have the world at your feet in ways that you never have before. This is an amazing energy for all of us to have at present. Very cool. All right, into near future. Six of Air, things are looking up, the end of a difficult situation, taking a trip. Well, this card has moved back. It was here last week to give us some clarification, but 2 weeks ago, it was also in this near future position. This is reassuring some of you who don't feel quite ready to come out and shine the way that you really want to, that the difficulties that have been challenging you up until now, the things that have been maybe keeping you from fully manifesting in this way, are coming to an end. 6 is a number of love. It signals that those of you who have seen my readings before know that I describe the number 5 as sort of the halfway there, maybe being stuck in the middle number. It's a number of being in the midst of transformation. 6 is that lovely number that gives you confirmation that you are past the hard part. The things that you really have needed to face about yourself are starting to become in the past. And you can now move on, especially if you're heart-based, especially if you're acting out of love. Everything that this is promising is coming to you as you move away from the crazy mind energy. Air cards are all about the mind. And sometimes they are all about having crazy monkey mind, ego-based energy that has been keeping us locked up or keeping us distracted, or perhaps crazy-making people in our lives that have been holding us back from moving forward into this new horizon. The end of a difficult situation. Some of you are taking a trip, maybe to see an eclipse, maybe to go inside, maybe to find a new home or a new situation or a new job. Great. Movement forward. Very cool. I can't get over this. This is perfect. Mind or higher mind of the collective. 2 of Earth. Too much going on at once. The need to make a decision. Consider a more playful approach. Yes, all this solar eclipse energy is really exciting, but it can also be really overwhelming. Just like we were getting the inkling with that 10 of Fire card that we had last week, about how some of you were feeling a little overwhelmed by all of this amazing tectonic potential that was building up for this eclipse week. 2 of Earth means that you may be of two minds about something very practical, something very much in your face, perhaps monetarily, perhaps something about your job or how you're going to express yourself physically. Some of you have been talking about possibly having health challenges, so maybe you're sort of trying to find balance on that route. Earth cards are all about the physical, either money stuff or body stuff or your physical environment, the stuff you have in your life. Maybe some of you need to declutter. You've got too much stuff in your space and you need to clear some room. The need to make a decision and consider the more playful approach. 2s can not only be about being two minds about something, but they can also be about finding balance and also possibly finding a like-minded person or persons to bounce ideas off of, getting input. Considering the more playful approach really feels like this sunny Leo exuberant energy. Leo is a fun-loving, self-loving sign in general, and the fact that this solar eclipse is happening in the sign of Leo really amplifies that energy about your identity and loving yourself and doing the things you really want to do. And this 2 of Earth really feels like letting go of that not so fun stuff in your life that you've been dragging around, that's been actually holding you back from fully manifesting as brilliantly as you really want to. Considering this more playful approach is definitely the Leo spirit. What sounds like more fun in your life? It's time. This eclipse is a fabulous opportunity to just, it's put up or shut up time. It's say, how can I live my life in the most dreamy, amazing, fun, inspiring way that I know, and also make this work for me in a very practical, earthly way. So yeah, some of us need to make a decision about that, and that's squarely in the mind. So good place for it, for decision making. In the heart. 10 of Earth, a very happy family life, financial security, finding magic in the little things in life. If this is the number of kind of being a little overwhelmed with earthly stuff, this is the completion number. This 10, another 10 numerologically, is the earthly card of all your wishes fulfilled. Everything you really, really want. Your relationships are supportive. You know, family life doesn't always mean your actual biological family. It could mean finding a new community, finding new friends, building your own family in some way. But it also means that you're not only surrounded by the people that you really want to see every day, but that you've got financial security and that you have room to find magic in the little things in life, meaning to appreciate. This is absolutely the perfect heart-centered place to be for the eclipse. When I say make wishes and find visions within of the world you really want to see, this is the world we all want to see. People happy with each other, heart-based, supportive, loving, curious, and having fun. These two kids are playing here in the foreground, and everyone seems content. All the material things are taken care of. All of the little niggling worries that we've been really trying so hard to juggle. Maybe all of these things that we're now leaving behind, that maybe some of us were afraid to leave behind because it meant hurting people or letting go of situations that we used to know about but couldn't really hang out in anymore because they were just too untenable for us if we're becoming this new person. This new person can't exist in that old place or in that old space and energy, and must come forward in order to achieve the dream. It's all about living this. Wonderful. Keep this squarely in your heart. This is a great, great energy for making your wish on solar eclipse day. Great. Body or subconscious wisdom. Justice. Archangel Raguel, fair and just decisions. Do what you know is right. Stand up for your beliefs. This is another 8. It's another 8, like the card that we began with. As I've said in previous readings, justice and strength have had a sort of a swapped relationship in certain systems of tarot. In this system, the Angel Tarot, justice is number 8 and strength is number 11. But you can see from these two pillars that in other systems of tarot at other times in history, justice has been the 11 card, which signifies balance. And, you know, the scales of Libra are here. This card has a heavy connection to Libra and also to Venus, Libra's ruling planet. And also, this really feels, this balance, it's pointing to something else having to do with the eclipse, and I'll talk about that in just a second. But this 8, you could consider the 8 balance as well, but balance in motion. Figuring out how to balance forces in your life and considerations of yourself versus others, that's what justice is kind of all about. Justifying or balancing the wants and needs of self or the individual with the wants and needs of the collective. That's what most justice issues are all about. Me versus them. Fair and just decisions. Do what you know is right. Stand up for your beliefs. This being at the root is really great because it gives us a solid, stable foundation. This is planting our 2 feet and really coming down on who we want to be and being able to be strong enough to move forward no matter what crazy makers in life might have to say about us, no matter what sort of overwhelm that we're dealing with, because we really want to balance things. This is interesting because this points to the balance that we need from the mind, and it's being found in the body. So this is really wonderful. This speaks to being able to ground ourselves. Perhaps all these earth cards coming down to culminate in this justice card here is about going out in nature, being able to meditate in nature, on the planet, on the firm foundation of our Mother Earth, so that we can root ourselves, ground ourselves, get ready for this explosive, fiery solar energy, to unite heaven and earth in that way, in a way that serves us, that serves the collective. I also feel like this has to do with a lot of stuff that's going on the world stage right now, where there's a tremendous need for balancing of the different needs of peoples around the world, the different needs of individuals versus the collective, and peaceful resolution, things just being fair and just. Yeah, and it's time for many of us to do what we know is right and to stand up for our beliefs, for the sake of the whole planet, for the sake of the world that we really want. This, as I said, the Justice card is very deeply connected to Libra. You can see the scales of Libra in the card. And Jupiter right now is hanging out in Libra. And what I didn't mention in the astrology section, because it was just so long in the beginning, is that Jupiter is forming a really harmonious sextile relationship to this eclipse and to several planets in the eclipse, involve Mars, North Node, Saturn. There's a lot of stuff going on, but Jupiter is hanging out on the sidelines, really adding, like a cheerleader, like a supportive parent who really wants everybody to go and do the thing and yay, sitting on the sidelines telling us, hey, we're all doing good and everything's going to work out. And this being in the root really anchors that energy. And I think it's going to be really good for all the crazy that's going on during the eclipse to have this solid root. Those of you who can get out in nature, do some meditating, and feel solid, feel supported by the planet and by Jupiter in Libra. So yeah, what can help us on our journey? Awakening, back again. This card, it's hanging over the entire eclipse season like a general theme. Awakening 2 weeks ago was right up here, and awakening 1 week ago began our spread. So the card now has progressed. It's making the rounds. And now, instead of feeling overwhelmed like we were last week, and we're still feeling the tail end of that little overwhelm, the monkey mind is still working some stuff out about what it's gonna be in the future and how it's going to relate to this new, very magical way of being. But it doesn't need to worry, because very practical things are going to come out of this explosive craziness and flipping the table in this way. And speaking of flipping the table, this awakening card, as I said before, Archangel Gabriel, look at things from a different perspective. There's a temporary standstill, but it's important to be yourself. This really feels like the energy of that Uranus retrograde. It began earlier this month and is going to be with us through the rest of the year. And like I said, this eclipse energy is going to be felt for the next few months and possibly into the next few years. So this idea that we're going to have at least the rest of this year to look at things in new ways, revolutionize our belief systems and how we used to think about the world, each other, and ourselves. You can see that this angel is hanging upside down. This is the Hanged Man card from traditional tarot. But is able to see the world, able to see the entirety of the world in a way that he or she never could before. And this is where we really need to be. This is in the help position. So the guides are letting us know that we really need to be open to looking at things in a completely different way. And this also speaks to this lovely trine that I was mentioning, the Uranus, Saturn, and the eclipse. Uranus is totally revolutionary, and it likes to flip the table when it sees that things are not just in the world. This is also a very Aquarian energy. We had that Aquarius eclipse 2 weeks ago, and the solar eclipse is the new moon following that lunar eclipse, and the lunar eclipse was in Aquarius. The two ruling planets for Aquarius are, surprise, surprise, Uranus and Saturn. So this whole eclipse has very Aquarian, forward-thinking, how can we make the new rules? Like, get rid of the old rules that weren't working and make new rules that will serve the greatest good of all. Aquarius is all about that energy of how can we serve everyone? How can we make everyone happy? How can we make decisions for the planet rather than from an us versus them perspective. It's a very global family feeling. It's very idealistic. And so Aquarians have zero patience for old, outdated modes of thinking that do not allow radical shifts that will serve us all. And this is that very Aquarian, let's flip things, very Uranian. 12 reduces to a 3. So it's about, it reminds me so much of that trine, because there's 3 things going on: the eclipse at the top, and Saturn and Uranus anchoring at the bottom. You can imagine it that way. Of course, it's on a wheel in the sky or above us. But if you look at it, it does look like a pyramid being anchored by Uranus and Saturn, and having the sun and the moon in conjunction, in partnership at the top. This is the reconciliation of opposite ideas, this collapse of duality. And it's all in this 3, this wonderful 3 Trinity energy, as if the male, the divine masculine, the divine feminine come together and they have a beautiful child in this wonderful and idyllic family feeling of creating something new. And this awakening is definitely that hugely creative energy, where again, Uranus and Saturn in Aquarian's energy, they come together, and at first they seem like opposites, but if they can actually cooperate, they can make a beautiful new world. And that definitely feels like that fire trine that's going on. Really wonderful stuff. So we've got the supporting planets of Uranus and Saturn. We've got Jupiter looking on like a big daddy cheerleader. And we have this solar eclipse going on here with beautiful brand new day energy for us all. How super cool. I love how the cards are always perfect to what we need to think about in the week. Let's see where the probabilities are taking us. 5 of water. All right, some of you are freaked out. Things not turning out the way you'd hoped, not seeing the positive in a situation, crying over spilled milk. Yes, I know. There's a lot going on in connection with this eclipse event. You can see some scary news on the internet if you don't even really have to look for it. You just have to kind of do a search for the solar eclipse, Great American Solar Eclipse 2017, and you're going to see lots of scary stuff. People thinking it's the end of the world, people thinking it means really horrible things for America, people thinking that it means horrible things for individuals, for events on the world stage in a big way. And I get that. I really, really do. And maybe it's true. Maybe there are things in the works that are going to really shake us up and really make us afraid. But you can see that this is a water card. This is all about your emotions. And remember how I said in the beginning that your emotional state really dictates what sort of reality you create for yourself. The really amazing thing is that in every time of difficulty, historically, there are people who thrive and there are people who suffer. And I'm not saying we're going to start blaming victims here, but I am saying that there is absolutely something that you can do every single day, every single moment, to just tip the scales towards a direction that things might possibly work out for you, even though things look scary. This 5, again, like I've said before, is a sort of halfway there number. It's also a number of transformation. So some of you may not know how to handle all of this epic mythological energy suddenly coming through you like a fire hose. Some of you have never thought about things in this way before. And this idea of not seeing the positive in a situation and crying over spilled milk, many of you might have real reason to mourn the passing of the old way of being. This world that you're leaving behind, this world that is radically changing in ways that you never expected, and maybe you never consciously asked for. But something in your spirit asked for it. It really, really did. 5 is also, if you look it up, there's many correspondences to 5 being the number of humanity, because we have 5 fingers, 5 toes, 5, appendages, head and arms and legs. This is a very human number, and this speaks to our process here on this planet, that we're here to undergo change. We're here to undergo growth and education and expansion, even if it's hard. You can see that some of these goblets have been knocked over, but there are still these two upright. And if we spend too much time focusing on the things that we're leaving behind, we cannot take advantage of the things that could possibly be coming on the horizon. It's interesting that these two really feel kind of, solar, maybe masculine-y yang energy and lunar yin energy. It feels like that solar eclipse coming together to unify opposites and to possibly get, like Saturn and Uranus, the conservative aspects and the revolutionary aspects to come together, talk to each other. Maybe this crisis that we're going to need to go through, whatever it looks like, whatever it turns out to be, is the only thing that can get these two to talk to each other. And that's what's desperately needed on this planet, to talk, to really understand where the other person is coming from. This looks like a negative card, but in reality, it might be really what we need. I want to clarify it just because I want more information on it. But in general, the rest of this reading is pretty clear. I might clarify this Two of Earth just for those of you who want more information about this overwhelm that you're feeling in the mind. But in general, all of this is looking really supportive and powerful, and some of us might still be scared. So let's clarify the Two of Earth and the Five of Water. I don't know which of these wants to come out, so I'm going to keep going. There seem to be two that come out for this guy, so let's use them both. I'll take what I can get. Here we go. Clarifying this Two of Earth, slight overwhelm in the mind. Ace of Earth. The inflow of abundance, a promising business venture, important documents or contracts. Look at that. Going from being of two minds, if we stay heart-based and we manage to balance ourselves and root ourselves to the planet in a secure way, we are going to manifest being of one mind, no longer being at odds with ourselves and with others, and moving forward in a very focused, powerful, directional, unquestioning way. This Ace of Earth is all about what it says: a brand new beginning, an inflow of real, physical, wonderful things with great promise, businesses, business ventures, inventions, artistic endeavors. Important documents or contracts could mean starting new businesses, could mean signing with partnerships for people, could mean making that sale you've been really wanting to make, could mean many things that feel like a very real, abundant, safe, and exciting path forward. This is really wonderful. So it just goes to show that this monkey mind stuff, this worrying that we've got, it's residual. It feels a lot less than that 10 of fire that we had going on last week. And it seems like many of you are going to figure this out. I'm going to move the spread so we can see both cards here. Okay. All right, we got two clarifiers for this last Five of Water. I'm going to read, let's see here, the first one that came up, first one that got laid down. Knight of Water. This is what can help you. Emotional, romantic, enthusiastic, and contemplative. Falling in love or wedding proposals. The need to balance emotions and invitation to a social event. The Knight of Water always feels like that totally heart-based romantic hero that comes in to save the princess at the end of the story. This is very water sign based energy. This could be a person. coming into your life. This is the first court card we have on the board here. And court cards many times indicate a new person. This could be that soulmate that many of you have been anticipating from the last couple of readings. The Knight of Water, it doesn't need to be physically a male person. Sexes don't always matter in tarot. It's more about the energy of this card. This could be any water sign that's coming into your life or is in your life that may be coming forward in a new way. Or aspects of your own self that come up in order to save you from the crazy making of your own mind and your own second guessing of yourself. This is another water-based card. It is all about the heart. So this idea of staying heart-based, that maybe it's time to dream a little. Maybe it's time to get romantic. Maybe it's time to stop questioning yourself in this very monkey mind, hamster wheel way, or stop mourning things that have passed and start looking forward to a very romantic and open and exciting future. It's very interesting that this, he's here on the surface, but underneath the surface is this like hidden treasure that's waiting to be found. And it's super exciting because this points to things below the surface in your life that you may not be aware of, something around the next corner that may show itself to you if you adopt this feeling in your heart, if you remain heart-based, if you believe, right? Beautiful. All right, what's this second card that they gave us? Wow. If we needed more confirmation, here it is. Queen of Water. Tender-hearted, empathetic, patient, loving. Relationships develop to a new level. Trust your intuition. Care for yourself and others. This card showed up twice 2 weeks ago. Twice, once as our overall energy for the reading, and once in the root, body, wisdom, subconscious position. The Queen of Water, it has that very Venus energy. And Venus is going to enter Leo, and which means she's going to take center stage and become much more assertive. She's been in Cancer, which has been this lovely, like sensitive, sentimental, home-based energy, but she's going to go into Leo, and that's going to make her out and shining like you have never seen her before. The Queen of Water, all about being heart-based and letting your heart lead you. Letting your heart take the lead in what you want to be next, how you want to shine to the world, how you want to manifest next in this reality. Look at all this water that's stacked up. It's the perfect confirmation that we all need to soothe us, to soothe this maybe crazy mind-based energy that is a little afraid still, and this worry about what we might be leaving behind, and to pull us forward with heart-based energy. Wow. Yeah. Look at this amazing reading. I am so excited. I can't believe the amazing potential we have. This awakening. It's getting real. And this beautiful heart-based energy reminding us where we need to keep our focus. So good. Venus has been supporting us throughout this entire eclipse season. Just quietly in the background, in the sign of Cancer, reminding us secretly, underneath it all, everything's going to be okay. It's all going to be all right. Just stay heart-based. And those things that you have been worried about, your relationships might develop to a whole new level. Trust your intuition. Just make sure that you're caring for yourself and others and staying in this very warm and compassionate place where you release your judgments, just like last week, even the Strength card that was talking about this very solar, warrior-y feeling of coming out and being who you are without shame and without self-censorship, but also releasing harsh judgments and forgiveness. This beautiful heart-based feeling of forgiveness that will allow us to understand each other in ways that we haven't previously been able to do. and possibly make justice happen in the world. Really great. As you can see, outcome all about the heart. So remain heart-based. Let's get to our shortcuts. I'm still feeling the Keepers of the Light deck. Let's figure out where they're at. And yeah. My shortcut process just begins with flipping these pre-shuffled decks over and seeing what's on the bottom. Brigid, inner strength. Move back to wholeness. Recognize that you have the power. This, again, what did I just mention? The strength card from last week's reading. This idea that you have the strength, you have the universe, when it wants us to awaken like this, when it wants us to fully transform and become who we really need to be next, it always asks of us seemingly a little bit more than we think we have. And this card and the strength card from last week and the Sekhmet card from a few weeks ago, all telling us that we really do have what it takes. We really do have more strength than we know. And that we're going to get through this. Whatever crazy we've got going on and whatever maybe might need to be either transformed or left behind in order for us to achieve this beautiful heart-based sort of paradise that we're all seeking, and the justice that we want. We want a just and fair world. We really do. But in order to achieve that, we need to transform in ways that maybe we have been afraid to in the past. And this card is just lending us even more reassurance that we've got what it takes, even if we don't feel strong enough. Beautiful. Moving back to wholeness. This also speaks to that. Remember how I said that Two of Earth was feeling sort of divided and of two minds and at cross purposes with yourself? And some of you might be going through real 3D health problems too. And this wholeness speaks to finding balance with that. Possibly some of you may be finding new modes of healing, new modes of rooting yourself and finding this balance in yourself so that you can move back to wholeness. I feel for you, and I'm really rooting for all of you who are going through anything of a physical nature. This also feels very earthy, earth-based card. It kind of feels like it belongs with this family of earth cards. So this is about real physical stuff. Beautiful. Second part in my shortcut process is I just cut. Mahavatar Babaji, soul expansion. Your consciousness is expanding. You understand the connections between all things. This is gorgeous. This is exactly the energy of, I think we got a bonus card. Lord Shiva, transcendence, and they're both saying the same thing. Rise up, honor your inner force, steps are being given, dance with the universe. Transcendence and soul expansion. Again, with this moon thing. So we've got the sun now, and we've got now lunar energy coming in to talk about this eclipse. Soul expansion and transcendence, all about this process of awakening. Whatever that means to you, whatever you have been going through is for the purpose of expanding your consciousness so that you can evolve into the next level of what you're going to be next. This is perfect, and understanding the connection between all things. No longer being in an us versus them situation, being able to see things from different people's and frankly different creatures' points of view. When we talk about being connected to the planet and rooting ourselves in just ways of being, that's also taking into account all of the other creatures and life forms that share this planet with us. So this is amazing. Both of these cards really coming through to give confirmation, and now I've got them all out of order here. Oh my goodness! All right. Okay, they want us to have bonuses. I'm going to put the bonus ones down here so you can see them. And put the originals up here. Sometimes we get bonuses. Faith, humanity, and benevolence. Stay calm, trust the good in yourself and others, see the light in the world. She showed up last week. in the shortcut. And this is that very Queen of Water energy. This idea that have faith in the good. Have faith in the good that is coming. Do not be afraid. That it feels like that peaceful sort of Buddha nature where the Buddha raises his hand and says, do not be afraid. Trust, see the light in the world, realize that we're all going for the best of all possible futures. Some of us may disagree on how to get there and what methods to take, what methods to employ to get there. But yeah, have faith that we're all in this together. Great, I'm gonna put these bonuses down here. Wow, okay. Second cut in shortcut process. Charity, prayer and contemplation. Connect with heaven, ask and you shall receive. During this eclipse, we all have an energetic opportunity. Many people in the Ascension or New Age or human consciousness evolution communities are talking about this eclipse as a gateway, an opportunity for us to cast our psychic, energetic, emotional votes for the greatest of all possible worlds. And having this feels like this very loving, and charity could mean real charity work, doing good in the world, finding the room in your life to, again, connect with the planet, go out and do something good that's bigger than you. Nothing can get you heart-based in that heart-based Queen of Water place faster than bringing joy into the life of another, or doing something wonderful for someone, or for a cause that you really believe in, or making the world a better place in some way. And prayer and contemplation, connecting with heaven. Don't be afraid to ask for what you really want. Ask and you shall receive. There's no better time than this eclipse to put in your vote, to ask, to put in your order with the universe. The universe is loving and wondrous and magical and waiting in the wings, just like that happy parent in Jupiter looking on and saying, "Yay, go kids." The universe wants to give you what you want. It's just that most of us have this mind stuff, like limiting beliefs, or maybe inertia that we've built up out of bad habits over our lives that don't allow the good things in. So this being able to ask for what you really want. Wow, guys, look. Amazing cards that we got for bonuses. Such a beautiful energy. Heart-based, this very mind energy, higher mind, this transcendent, alchemical energy, and this very earth-based energy. It's almost like all of the elements have come together to tell us, hey, we're with you, and good things are coming, and have faith, right? Don't worry about what things look like on the surface. Sometimes you got to stir things up in order for the water to get clear. Beautiful. Okay, wow. That was a lot more than I anticipated on that shortcut. Second shortcut, I feel like I still want to go with this Psychic Tarot by John Holland. Beautiful deck. Sort of a hybrid tarot deck, oracle deck. Doesn't have all the normal tarot cards in it, but enough of them to make correspondences for us. So, and also a very grounding, comfy, comforting feeling deck. And I feel like we all really want that right now. What's on the bottom? Transformation, Divine Feminine 13 coming in. 1, 3, numerologically reduces to a 4, so we're building ourselves a new foundation by sort of ripping down what used to be in our lives. This card corresponds to the Death card in traditional tarot, and the Death card really gets a bad rap because everyone's afraid of it. It looks really scary. It's usually got a skeleton or some sort of death figure with a scythe or whatever scary apparition of death that people want to put on a card. This one I really like even better because she's got these butterfly wings. And this is what we're really talking about when we talk about quote unquote death. What we're talking about is the death of previous ways of being. This idea of not crying over those previous ways of being, not crying over spilled milk, realizing that the awakening that you're going through, this turning everything on its head, is a positive process. Something that you used to be must be sacrificed in order for you to become this brilliant new butterfly, this amazing new being that you're going to become if you have the courage to leave behind the things that are not working for you. This is a really powerful card for us to draw in this spread because the solar eclipse energy is all about this, about completely reinventing the way we used to be into something that may not be recognizable, that may not be immediately understandable to some of us. And maybe that's why the mind is taking issue and the heart can be a little bit afraid right now. But I think this card is amazing. Let's cut. Movement, choices, and decisions. This is a 2. This card really feels like this one, because these 2s are kind of saying the same thing, the need to make a decision. And considering a more playful approach on this card is a really good way to make that decision, to come down on the thing that's going to serve your highest good and really get you what you want. This person is standing at a gateway, and 2, you can look at the 2 pillars here, and I know I've said in the past that 11 doesn't reduce, but it does feel like that kind of balance or making that decision. You choose one and you move forward and you move through a gateway into a new way of being. This is really pointing to these heavy things that some of you are dealing with. Again, real life issues of financial support and abundance. Possibly some of you are reevaluating relationship stuff. We had that really dramatic Venus-Pluto opposition last week, and we're having that day where Uranus is going to square Venus, and some of you are going to really want to reevaluate those relationships. This going forward into a more earth-based or a more feeling heart-based way of being, when some of you have been stuck in the mind, stuck in limiting ways of being. And this freedom of a clear mind that can come from making those tough decisions and really coming down on what you're going to believe in, standing up for your beliefs, becoming this new thing, going through this awakening and getting clarity, not being stuck before you move forward. This is great. Cut. Okay. This is where some of you are coming from. See that 5? Remember that 5 about things not turning out the way you want? This is our fear. This is what we fear. Things not turning out the way you'd hoped. The stuff that's going on in the world stage and worrying about like conflict. There's a lot of conflict out there, and maybe some of us are worried that we're really facing this horrible downfall and that we're going to lose things, that we're going to really lose things. And it's almost like, again, we're pre-mourning, or we're mourning what is passing on. And that's valid. It really is. Again, these 5s, they feel really the same. But I feel like it's where we're coming from. It is something we need to go through. It's totally valid to go through that mourning process, because sometimes you can't come out on the other side and really feel joy until you have been able to feel the depths of the opposite of joy. Yeah, also here, things are looking up the end of a difficult situation. Coming out of looking down. See, this man also, you can see in this artwork, he's going down the stairs into darkness, but there's this light. Just like there's the chalices that are shining in the darkness, or the one that the Knight of Water hasn't found yet. You can see here at the bottom, this kind of little light, this light at the end of the tunnel, maybe. But there's light even in the darkness. And sometimes in the midst of the darkness, the light can shine brighter. So this feels like this crucible that some of you are going through, this really dark night of the soul that leads to transformation. It feels like death. It feels like letting go. It feels like loss and mourning. But these are the things that are necessary in order to get to the new. It is one of the rules of the game that we all set up when we came to play this physical game, that in order to have something new, something old has to be either transformed or must pass on. So these are big boy and big girl lessons, everyone. But invariably, it leads to some really powerful change. And I think inevitably we're all going to see how it served us in the end. We might not be able to see it right now, but if we stay heart-based, we'll be able to weather the storm, go through this awakening, and possibly look back once it's all over and processed, once our heart has had a chance to work on the issue and really see how it did serve us in the end. Yeah, really good stuff. I have faith that we'll get there. Okay, angel answers. What's on the bottom? All right, everyone, it's up to you. What did I say about your beliefs and your emotions determining what your future looks like? And this is Source, God, Goddess, the universe saying, it's all up to you. What world do you choose? Do you choose a world where everything tough that you go through ends up serving your highest good and you transform into this amazing, radiant being with all of the things and with so much to be grateful for on the other side? Are you choosing to hero up? Are you choosing to live on the fun side of things? Are you choosing to look on the bright side? Are you choosing to say, this process, as dramatic as it is, has beauty in it, it has good in it, and in the end, no matter how crazy things look and no matter how painful maybe letting go of this old way or these old things in my life or these old people that I used to be close to, maybe real transitions. We don't like to talk about, like I said, the death card actually meaning physical death, but sometimes there are real transitions of people moving into non-physical. And I can say from personal experience that that can be a really, really hard thing to go through in your life. And yet on the other side is this beautiful possibility of it opening you up to a whole new way of relating. Relationships develop to a new level. If someone passes on into non-physical, they're not gone. And as much as it feels like that, as much as it feels like they're just gone and there's nothing that can be done, they still exist. In fact, the larger part of yourself, the higher mind part of yourself, is in heaven with them, making all these plans, looking down and saying, hey, watch what they do during this eclipse period. Let's see how things turn out. Let's send them some non-physical aid. Let's send them some guidance. Let's send them, a crazy tarot reading girl who says it's up to you. It's up to you how you anticipate or how you interpret these events and what you anticipate their outcome is going to be for you. And when those relationships, when someone passes on to the other side, it's an incredibly powerful opportunity for you to develop that relationship to a new level, just like the Queen of Water is saying. This idea that sometimes someone passing on is the catalyst for you to become a heart-based, spiritually powerful, balanced powerful person who has much more manifesting power in the real world than you used to. And that's what sometimes eclipses feel like. They feel like beginnings and they feel like endings. And for some of you, things are beginning, and for some of you, things are coming to an end, and for some of you, both. But whether or not that's a positive thing for you is up to you. And that's the way the game works. That's the way we all decided it was going to work when we came here. That anything that we believed, anything that we really felt was true, would manifest into our experience. So here is the universe giving you the ultimate confirmation that whatever is going on, whatever it looks like in the surface, you get to choose what it means to you. So awesome. I can't think of a better card to get for our final angel answers confirmation. Okay, everyone. Really excited for all of you, even those of you who are going through tough stuff. And please allow me to take a moment to tell those of you who are going through tough things that I feel for you deeply. And I've been in dark places like that. Maybe not exactly what you've been going through, but I've been in places where I thought there was no hope, that the light was never going to come back. But at the end of every dark night, the sun does rise. Even if sometimes you're going through something that's so hard that you're so pissed off that you don't want the sun to rise, that you don't want the world to be okay with this thing that has just happened. You don't want things to move forward. Some of you could be in such a dark place that you want things to just stop. You almost want to disappear into the dark. But just like that defeat card that we were getting from the Psychic Tarot, there's always the next light in the dark. There's always a sunrise over the horizon. And some of you are really in that, in the midst of the light, in the midst of celebration, because eclipses are also very extreme. There's darkness and there's light, and everything in between. So, yeah, all the things. Very, very cool. I really want to give us a very silly and light and airy way of celebrating this incredibly portentous process that we're all going through. But, the Two of Earth said, consider a more playful approach, and the Knight of Water and the Queen of Water are all about happy and love and excitement, and this is a very happy card right here in the heart. Finding magic in the little things in life. Perfect. So let's find some magic in a little thing that we can do to celebrate. Okay, I have 2 of these dice. They're my awesome victory reward dice. I'm going to choose one. I'm closing my eyes right now. What should we do to celebrate? All right. Those of you who have time this week, visit the day spa. Hang out with the Queen of Water in the water, or however, whatever that means to you. Get a facial, get some beauty treatment, go hang out in a sauna or a warm spa. Yeah, beautiful, gentle, water-based ways of rewarding yourself, of pampering yourself, of wrapping yourself up in warmth and cleanliness and renewal. It just feels like, you always just feel like a new person. Yeah, when you go to the spa. So, yeah, do that. Oh, and maybe dinner out, maybe visit the day spa and then have dinner. You feel really good then. Really happy, like you got all the things. Okay, I am excited. Oh, what I didn't say is, because I was so really overwhelmed by the shortcuts we were doing, is those of you other tarot readers out there who would like to use my shortcut spread with the 3 cards, or I don't know, we got lots of cards today with the Keepers of the Light deck. But you want to use my shortcut spread, you want to use the quick cross spread. I have made these spreads available through Creative Commons. And in order to use them, you just need to attribute them to me and link to my website, which is www.shinyallthetime.com. And you can find all the attribution information that you need. You can just cut and paste that information at shinyallthetime.com/cc. Yeah, beautiful reading. I'm so very excited for all of you, for myself and for everyone. Enjoy the eclipse, make some good wishes. Yeah, if you enjoyed this reading, give me a like, comment below, subscribe to my channel, and oh, I have an awesome newsletter. So if you want more out of this week's reading, you can definitely get more. I am gonna go deeper into these major arcana cards and into these court cards that we got for this week's reading and explain more about what they mean and how they apply to the reading and to you. So if you'd like that information, visit shinyallthetime.com. I've got a little form where you can sign up for my newsletter. If you're on a desktop or a tablet, it's on the right-hand side. And if you're on a mobile phone, I believe you have to scroll to the bottom to get to the form. So yes, please do that. And get out there, be nice to yourself, have dinner out maybe as a bonus. And stay shiny, everyone. There's no better week to stay shiny, to shine bright, to shine like the amazing divine being that you are, because this eclipse is a giant, supercharged opportunity for you to become that person, for you to really live the life you want, to make it real. And love. My goodness, so much love coming for you. Very, very excited. So yeah, stay shiny, everyone, and see you next time.